Gallina, phone fund. Phone fund, Giuseppe Gallina.
Mr. Contest Chairman, fellow members and honored guests. One night I was back at home at about 3 o'clock. I had a shower in the garden because I took a shower in the garden. I made myself a lovely Italian coffee and I just chilled out on my thinking couch. And I start thinking what I want more from life. And this led me to remember how I used to have fun many years ago when I was a kid, with practical fun jokes. So I went to bed, and while I was stretching out, nice and comfortable, what did I do? I called a friend of mine. Imagine him waking up in the middle of the night while deep into his sleep, and he was so nice that he even replied to the phone and said, "Hello." And I said, "Just thinking of you, mate," and hung up immediately. But he paid me back. He paid me back. A few nights later, I was sleeping like a lovely little boy, dreaming of the angels. When I was suddenly woken up by a noise, boom, boom, boom. I checked the time, it was 2 a.m., and I realized that somebody was knocking at the door. So, half in another world, I woke up and walking to the door, with my eyes shut and zigzagging, I managed to reach the front door and I said, "Who is it?" And somebody replied, "Your mother." And it was that neighbor. I believe that fun is a fundamental part of life. We can't be always serious, can we? So what's wrong with some innocent, practical, fun jokes? My fun jokes, ladies and gentlemen, come from a long time ago. And now I would like to tell you a true story. Italy, mid-70s, I was 12, 13 years of age, and one day I was at home with a friend of mine. No mom and dad around. And we had the most ingenious ideas. In the morning, I rang up the hospital, and pretending to be from the next door neighbor, I said that Luigi Balbi, the neighbor, had broken his arm to come and collect him. So a few minutes later, we heard the ambulance driving along the road and stopping at the door. And it was Luigi Balbi himself who went to the door and opened and found the 2 nurses with a stretch ready to take him away from the hospital. And they told him why they were there. And he said, "No, Luigi Balbi is me, and I didn't break my arm because I'm playing cards." But that was not all, because something else was going to come. In the afternoon, I called the fire brigades, and pretending to be from the same next door neighbor, I said that there was a beginning of a fire in the kitchen to come into the door. So a few minutes later, the fire brigade's car drove along the road, and people opened the door and the window. "Oh, fire, fire, my God, my God!" And they rang up the bell of the next door neighbor, and it was his wife who went and opened the door. And what did she find? A fire brigade guy with a hose like that. "Where is the fire? Where is the fire?" Can you imagine her? And I can imagine her husband saying something in dialect, local language, about the person who did these 2 jokes. And it better I don't repeat it, because otherwise my chances to win this contest will be 0. A few days later, the neighbor was away on business, and his wife asked my mom to go and spend the night with her, to keep her company. And a few nights after that, we were at home in my place for lunch, the whole family around the table, the 5 of us. And I was eating next door to Mom. And she starts saying, "Who can do something like that? Who can be so stupid to do these 2 jokes to somebody?" And then, changing her voice, when she was becoming angry, she said, "If I find the one who did it," and I was sitting next door to her, "I was on top of the moon. I'd make Mom." I believe, ladies and gentlemen, that we should have a laugh at least once every day. Fun makes us happy, relaxed, helps us enjoy life. And with the phone, you can reach people with your voice. Isn't it marvelous? And if your phone rings, be happy, especially if it rings in the middle of the night. It could be me.
Thank you, Giuseppe. Timekeepers, could we have 1 minute?